Hi, Reyna. Okay, it's me, Vijay Reyna. Namaste, मेरा नाम Vijay Reyna है. Mabuhay ko po si Vijay Reyna sa US ako. And I'm here to talk about Miss Cosmo. Miss Cosmo may have been the best pageant. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know so many of my Reynas are gonna be pissed from India if I start the video off like that. Let's get into it. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down below if you want to join the Reyna family, which is what I call my subscribers. And if you want to be a Reyna yourself, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps my channel. And go hit me up on social media, TikTok and Instagram, linked in the bio or the description down below. All right, let's get into it. So let's talk about the production. I know you guys want me to jump to Vipra Mehta right now. Hold on, we're going in order. The production was really the bomb.com. Honestly, I feel like a freaking millennial saying that, and I'm Gen Z, so let me never say that again. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought the production was really good. I know some people were like, the stage is too big. Honey, y'all don't say that about Miss Grand International, so let's not go there. I think that the staging was really actually appropriately sized. I loved how they did the infinity. Miss Universe, take notes. If you ever want to do infinity again as your stage, that's how you do it. The outdoor aspect is fine. I always get a little nervous with the outdoor staging, you guys, just because I'm like, what if it just starts raining and sprinkling in the girls' hair and their makeup? It's really was a good production. I like the performances too. You guys know that in pageants, especially in recent years, not since Miss Universe 2018 have we had a good show, to be honest with you all. So I really enjoyed the numbers that they had. All right, let's get on with the show. So the top 20 was announced. For me, I thought the top 20 overall was pretty good. I do feel like there was a lack of contestants from Africa and just generally black queens who were not called or announced. Only one that we had was Ecuador and Zimbabwe being the only one from Africa. I don't know, I thought Nigeria was really great. I thought Liberia was really good as well. Bahamas, I thought even Haiti was really good. South Africa, there was definitely plenty of girls that they could have picked from to enter to the top, but I don't know how the closed door interviews went. Maybe their advocacies are not strong. Miss Cosmo comes off as a very advocacy heavy type of pageant, so I don't know. All right, so moving forward into the top 20, it was in no particular order: Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Germany, India, Indonesia, Laos, Mexico, Myanmar, New Zealand, Panama, Peru, Philippines, Thailand, USA, Vietnam, Zimbabwe, and Cambodia. So for the most part, again, I thought that this top 20 was really good. Of course, I would have loved to see more representatives from Africa, as I mentioned earlier, but other than that, you guys, I thought that was actually a pretty good top 20. I feel like they definitely, all these women were exceptional throughout the preliminary activities, and I definitely noticed some of the fan favorites in there too, which is always great. Yeah, I really loved it. So let's get into my top 10. They did the swimsuit round, everyone looked good. So in particular order from 10 to 1, this was my top 10 based on my scoring and my personal opinion. I personally had 10 Myanmar, 9 Thailand, 8 Cuba, 7 Dominican Republic, 6 Philippines, 5 Colombia, 4 USA, 3 Laos, 2 India, and 1 Panama. Now, let me just say that these scores were all very close. You could have put like Philippines number 3, you could have put Laos number 7. Like they were so close, to be honest with you. And a lot of these girls actually, I think they all got 8.5 out of 10 or above. With Panama being a 9.5 out of 10. She was the only one who got 9.5. Her and India were kind of tied for me, Panama and India as the top contestant. So there was that. Panama and India to me just really exuded confidence. India has been a standout since the preliminaries, and that is no surprise that she really performed well during the finales. I thought that her facial expression, her walks, her movement was really good. If I had to give any constructive criticism, it was just a little fast, but it is swimsuit, so I'm not really too worried about it. Overall, I really loved India. I thought she was excellent. Panama, same notes. She was so confident on the stage, Panama has been a performer way before Miss Cosmo even was like initiated this year. Everyone has known that Miss Panama or Miss Cosmo Panama was really just a performer. So I was not like shocked by any means at all to see that Panama was performing really well. Philippines looked beautiful as always. Chelsea's always so confident and gorgeous. USA looked stunning. Loved her. Lao was a big surprise to me. I really was not anticipating Lao to do that well. I know that Lao, I'm pretty sure, was a Miss Universe Lao 2022, I think. And I remember seeing her then, and I don't remember her being this good. I really feel like there's been a glow up and a lot of development from Miss Universe to Miss Cosmo for Lao. So great job to you as well. So that was my personal top 10. But the official top 10 was a little bit different. It was in no particular order: Brazil, Zimbabwe, Cuba, USA, Vietnam, Colombia, Myanmar, Philippines, Panama, and Thailand. So, I'm laughing only because I feel like two girls, Dominican Republic and India, were not advanced to the top 10, and I was actually quite surprised. I think even though Dominican Republic on my list was number 7, that she was really good. So I was really shocked not to see her. India to me was, again, the top 2. Her and Panama, those two in general were just the best. And I was really honestly, I just didn't understand it. I was really kind of confused how she didn't make the top 10. Of course, in every cut, there's always going to be surprises. In every pageant, in every system, whether it's Charm, Supra, International, Grand, Universe, World, especially World, there's cuts that we don't predict or that we don't necessarily understand, right? And so I wasn't necessarily anticipating that Miss Cosmo was going to be any different, because we have to remember that the judging panel for Miss Cosmo was quite diverse. Yes, we had pageant queens like Hernaz Sandhu and Olivia Yase, but there was also non-pageant experts. I love Paula Sugar. I think that she is really great. However, we cannot necessarily call her a pageant expert in terms of the walk, right? I think she knows what will make a good queen. I think that she knows the qualities that a good queen possesses, but there's a difference between having an eye for someone with a great personality who would carry the crown with integrity versus knowing who is giving a really good swimsuit performance, right? I love Paula, so no shade. It's just my personal thoughts on it, maybe. Also, there were a few other judges outside of Hernaz and Olivia and Paula who, to my knowledge, were not necessarily super big in the pageant community. And so their judgment may just be preference, to be honest. And I really feel like that's what prevented Vipra from going into the top 10. I don't know. I'm saying all these things, but it's just me trying to find a reason. And I really don't know if there is a good one that I can give you guys, other than sometimes things happen. I just don't know. The ones that I did not have on my personal top 10 that made the top 10 were Zimbabwe, Vietnam, and I think it was Cuba, maybe? No, I had Cuba. So it was Zimbabwe, Vietnam, and I don't know. And that was it. So I think I got 7 or 8 out of 10 correct. Anyways, I got majority of the top 10 correct. So in that way, I was happy. I was like, okay, well, I mean, at least I got most of the girls right. For Zimbabwe and Vietnam, I think that they did good. I'm not going to sit here and say that I feel like they did bad. I don't think they did bad. I just personally thought India, I mean, was better than most of the top 10 and during swimsuit specifically. So it was kind of a shock to me not to see her there. Anyways, I regress. I have a video coming out soon that will be a pageant in review, like year in review for all the countries. So I have one for India. In that video, I'll go more into depth about Vipra and my thoughts on her not moving forward. But this is a Miss Cosmo review, not a Miss Cosmo India review. So we're going to move forward. So out of the top 10, my personal top 5 during the evening gown was in order. 5 was either Vietnam or Zimbabwe. I really couldn't pick between the two of them. I thought they both did well. Personally, I wasn't a fan of Vietnam's gown, but I was a fan of her performance. So I liked her performance. The gown to me was kind of whatever. Zimbabwe looked absolutely divine and gorgeous in red. I think any woman of color, any melanated woman who decides to go for red, it's just it's a good choice. So for me, Zimbabwe did a really good job by picking red. I thought it looked stunning on her. In fourth place, I had Cuba. Cuba to me was a pleasant surprise. I mean, I did know that this girl was a performer, but in this specific moment, I thought she really exuded that. And she looked so queenly, so confident, and so comfortable. Three to me was Brazil. Brazil is one of my favorites from the very start. This is not something that is new. I have loved Brazil for a long time, and I feel like she exuded and exemplified why we as fans really loved her. And I know some people were kind of cutting her some like disses, and they were giving her comments that weren't very productive. So to see her enter the top 5 was a very sweet moment for me. Number 2 for me was the Philippines. I just thought she looked gorgeous. Chelsea is known for her evening gown. I think the flower was one of her signatures, the red lip and the flower. The flower was a bit distracting to me personally, but nonetheless, I think it's quintessential Chelsea and it's part of her branding. So I was okay with it. I was so happy she took the cape off. When she first entered the stage, I was like, that's a cape, right? That has to be a cape. She's going to do a reveal. And she did, and it was honestly so great. I think her dress was Leo Amodal, if I'm not mistaken. I think her preliminary was Leo Amodal as well. What a great designer. Honestly, just beautiful gowns. If I ever get onto RuPaul's Drag Race, I will definitely need to hit up Leo Amodal and ask for a huge just grand dress. It would be an honor to wear Leo Amodal at any point. So gorgeous gown. My number 1 was actually Thailand. I loved Thailand's gown. I do feel like the panty line, we could see it a little bit. I wasn't a fan of that. Other than that, I really loved it. I especially thought that the cape that came with the gown was really dimensional. I don't know. It had this like almost 3D illusion. I really loved it. It was really just honestly gorgeous. I loved the colors as well. I feel like it was bright and it looked so good on her. She took a moment on the stage where she kind of put her hands on her chest and was just embracing the moment. And something about that to me was actually very magical. And I did not mind it. I was like, wow, this is really honestly gorgeous. I love it. So I don't know. To me, it was a really great gown. I was really sad to not see her move forward, but it's okay. The official top 5 ended up being in no particular order: Philippines, Brazil, USA, Panama, and Myanmar. So I did not have Myanmar or USA or Panama in my top 5. So I clearly did not do a good job at moving the girls forward. But let me say this. There was no one who got less than an 8.5 out of 10 for me. I know that Myanmar stumbled, so many people may think that how did she advance forward? How did she move forward? The girl fell. But to be honest, you guys, queens have fallen before. Hernas Sandhu tripped on stage. Pia Wurtzbach tripped on stage. Adisa Manalo literally fell on stage. So many queens who have been successful have tripped on stage. It's really not about how you fall. It's about how you move forward. And to me, Myanmar did a really great job moving forward. I know a lot of people are making comments saying that the national director paid for her spot in the top 5. I don't think so. I think in swimsuit and evening gown, she actually did a really good job. And I think that it's really discrediting to the girl. Like Miss Grand Myanmar, yeah, like did she break down and kind of freak out a little bit too much? Yeah, she did. But she was a really good performer, and Miss Grand Myanmar during her reign earned that top 5. It's just that she couldn't handle the fact that she wasn't the winner. So for me, Miss Cosmo Myanmar getting into the top 5 was not a problem. I did not like the dress. I feel like it looked like a children's drawing, and they just kind of swirled it on there. I don't know. It was a little bit weird to me. It was giving like, kids tablecloth party, but I digress. Panama also did not move on to me. For me, rather, I loved her gown. I thought it was fine, but something about the performance, I just have seen her perform before, and I think that when you see someone who is such a good and strong performer on stage, it's hard not to compare them with themselves. So it's like when you know that it's not the best performance you've ever seen from them, it's kind of hard to not take that into account. And for me, I have just seen Panama perform better than what she did during the finale. Nonetheless, she did a phenomenal job, and yeah, felicidades Panama. Está un buena reina. So felicidades, okay? So then we have USA. I also did not place her, but I loved her performance. I loved her hair. I loved the red lip. So I wasn't mad at it. Again, none of the girls did bad. So it wasn't like I was super impressed about it. I think that gown looked familiar. I feel like Monica Vishwakarma, Miss Universe India, I feel like she wore it, but I don't know. Or maybe it's something very similar. Maybe it's the same designer. Something about Miss Cosmo USA's gown just looked so familiar, specifically from something that I've seen Monica Vishwakarma wear, but maybe I'm just thinking that in my head. It just looked familiar. Let me know in the comments down below. Finally, Brazil and Philippines. I gave you guys my thoughts on them. No surprise. Happy to see them there. Next comes the Q&A. The Q&A comes up, and well, it wasn't that hard to tell who the top two were because there were only two good speakers. Unfortunately, for the other three, they were not that good. So for the top two, my personal top two moving on were the Philippines and USA, with USA being my number 2 favorite answer, and the USA being my number one. I mean, and Philippines being my number 1. So for me, when it came to Panama, I feel like she was my number 3, but the translator was fine. I don't feel like the translator did anything wrong, but what I will say is that I could tell by Italy Mora's body language that Miss Cosmo Panama was a little bit perhaps nervous. She was a little bit unconfident in her answer, and I think that was something that I really noted. Like, I just feel like she was really uncertain of what she was saying. And so even though I do know conversational Spanish, I was able to understand most of her answer. And even though it was not, it really wasn't the best answer. But on top of that, her confidence and delivery of that answer was also just off. Brazil, well, Brazil's translator needed a translator. Let's just that. Brazil's translator needed a translator. So to me, yeah, she had to go. No offense. And I loved her so much. I would have been so happy with Brazil moving forward to the top 2. I just wasn't her night. And I don't know if it was her. I don't know if it was the translator, but they got to vet these translators a little bit better across all pageant systems, because time after time, they're just not that good. Lastly was Myanmar. Well, I can definitely tell that her national director was the same one from Miss Grand Myanmar previously, because yeah, she also cannot talk. I mean, I don't know what she was saying. I don't know. She knows what she was saying. I almost wish that she would have just spoken Burmese. Maybe she would have been able to convey her thoughts and deliver them across a lot more just efficiently. I don't know if it was a language barrier thing, because I do feel like she knew enough English to, communicate, but maybe I'm wrong. It's one thing to know English, and it's another thing to be able to communicate in English, right? You can know English words, but it doesn't mean that you are fluent in it or you're able to communicate your thoughts. So I don't know. She was my 5th. Overall, I just had I didn't think she could move on. So as I predicted, USA and Philippines moved on. For me, USA was number 2 at that point, only because I feel like, yes, she answered her question really well when it came to the first Q&A, but she was just putting a lot of information in that answer. I mean, I feel like she was shoving everything that she could into that answer. I also found it a little bit odd. If you're not from the US, you might not be familiar with fraternities and sororities. So when Miss Cosmo USA said that she was the president of her sorority and she managed over 70 girls, I just thought it was a little bit dramatic. I was in a fraternity. Yes, believe it or not, this little homosexual was in a fraternity. I was in a fraternity, and when you're head of your fraternity or sorority chapter, you're doing stuff, but you're not. It's not like you're the CEO. So I just thought it was a little bit dramatic, but nonetheless, I thought it was impressive for just having graduated college, that she was able to achieve the fundraising stuff. So kudos to her. It was a good answer. I just thought that she should have made it a little bit more simple and digestible. For me, Chelsea Fernandez was my number 1 after the first round, because I really feel like her answer was rooted in power. The delivery was confident and strong. The pace of which she spoke was really easy to understand. And it was a simple, straightforward, effective, and powerful answer. And I was really proud of Chelsea. If you've been following Chelsea Fernandez's journey, she's an intelligent woman, but sometimes her answers are not conveyed, or they don't come across the best. So I was really proud of her in that moment. I thought she looked absolutely divine and very powerful, very confident during her answer. Going into the debate round, the top two debated, and USA took that. USA took that. Her advocacy being cancer, which is a lot more globally applicable, and she could apply that to people all over the world. I mean, cancer is an unfortunate disease that impacts people everywhere. I myself am a cancer nurse, if you don't know, so I know firsthand how much this can really impact people's lives and their families that are involved and with them on this journey. So obviously her answer is going to be something that will touch a lot of people. If you have not experienced it, someone you know probably has, unfortunately. So I think that her answer was effective. Chelsea posed the question of, what are you going to do if you run out of funds? And she pretty much said, girl, I won't run out of funds. I was working with the organization. She stated that while she herself raised $20,000, the org that she partnered with raised $30 million. So she's like, girl, we're not running dry at any point. I know a lot of people felt like she didn't answer Chelsea's question, and I agree. However, we have to remember that this is a debate and not a question and answer. Miss Cosmo USA is not necessarily obliged are required to answer Chelsea's question directly. She just has to be able to debate and prove her point. And it's not that hard to say, girl, it's cancer research. It's going to be funded. Trust me. With that being said, Chelsea Fernandez went on about her advocacy with the mangroves and how she's been planting mangroves in order to kind of sustain and prevent calamities from impacting areas and cities across the Philippines. And I thought that her answer was very beautiful. Her advocacy is great. I've had the privilege of visiting the Philippines for about a month and a half. And during that time, I was in Palawan, where I was able to actually try the milok. And I learned about the mangroves during that time. If you know what the milok is, you know. If you know, you know. If you don't, then I'm not going to get into it. But I really was able to learn during that time in Palawan the importance of the mangroves. And they really do help sustain the island and protect them from calamities and from flooding and from typhoons, tsunamis, all of that. So I do think that her advocacy was really great. However, the biggest problem was that it was not globally applicable, at least in the way she presented it. The fact of the matter is, flooding and natural disaster does impact countries all over the world. And I wish that Chelsea would have extended her advocacy to more than just flooding or more than just the Philippines. Because the fact is that the Philippines, which, by the way, if you guys know any credible sources, please go ahead and donate to them. Right now, the Philippines is undergoing a lot of recovery from massive typhoons and flooding across the nation. And it's really quite sad that there is not enough allocation to help the people out. So please go and research and do your own research about the Philippines and their flooding. And please give if you can. Nonetheless, I will say there has been flooding in central Vietnam. There's been flooding in Thailand. There's been flooding in Jamaica. There were big fires in Los Angeles, and that can lead to flooding. So there were so many countries that were undergoing flooding outside of just the Philippines that I feel like when Miss USA asked her, is this globally applicable? Does this apply to a global audience? Chelsea had the opportunity to say, yeah, it does apply globally. In fact, we're in Vietnam, and here in central Vietnam, there was massive flooding. The Miss Cosmo organization went to this area of Vietnam, and they helped rebuild a home and give back to schools. And this is exactly what I want to extend on. Cosmo is already doing this. I just want to take myself and join that and further it out. Flooding in the Philippines, flooding in Vietnam, flooding in Thailand, flooding in Jamaica. All across the world, there's floods. And this flooding is caused by what? Climate change. Climate change by first world nations like yourself, Miss USA, who are burning off our fossil fuels, causing waters to rise, which then cause floods. And countries like myself that are not as developed are unable to repair the flooding and the damages. So while your advocacy, Miss USA, Miss Cosmo USA, is beautiful and you are helping patients who have cancer, can your funding go beyond those who are privileged enough to receive it? Because with my advocacy, we're focusing on flooding because right now the hospitals are flooded, the healthcare workers are displaced, the cancer patients are displaced. No one can even get cancer relief because right now we're trying to just get natural disaster relief. No one can get cancer treatment. No healthcare worker can treat the cancer if there's no facility to treat them at, and if all of our medical supplies are underwater. So I think if Chelsea would have posed it like that, she could have dismantled her opponent and strengthened her globalization of her advocacy. Anyways, she did not do that. So Miss USA ended up snatching the crown. Congratulations, Miss Cosmo USA. You are a beautiful contestant. You did a really amazing job and well deserved. Miss Cosmo Philippines, Chelsea Fernandez, ended up being the first runner up. Chelsea, sobrang proud, okay? Walang problem dito kasi you did a really good job. Para sa akin ang paborito ko. So you did a really amazing job. So happy for you. Of course, मेरे देशियों के लिए मुझे पता है आप लोग बहुत ही गुस्से हैं क्योंकि विक्रमेता ने नहीं जीत गया, उन्हें हार गया, लेकिन कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है क्योंकि हम बहुत ही प्राउड है। रिपा, अगर आप ये वीडियो देख रहे हैं, मैं बहुत ही प्राउड है। तुमने बहुत ही अच्छा काम नहीं किया, सॉरी, आपने बहुत ही अच्छा काम किया, बहुत ही प्राउड है तुम्हारे लिए, and I hope that your journey into pageantry does not stop here. I hope that you know शायद Miss Universe India के लिए जा सकती है आप, और नहीं तो Miss World or kuch और pageant, लेकिन नहीं तो I just wish you great luck, okay? I'm very proud of you. India is so proud of you, and yeah. Anyways, I'm so happy for the girls and the contestants. Of course, I'm super sad for India, being that I am half Indian. I, again, will do a video about that in my year in review of pageantry for the different countries. I'm going to do one for India, Philippines, Thailand. I'll do one for the continent of Africa overall, and whatever other countries you guys want me to do, I'll do a year in review for that country. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that many of you guys are very upset about the results. I do want to say one thing, you guys, let's not throw hate at the judges. There's more than one judge, okay? So blaming India not moving forward on Herna Sandhu is nonsensical because she's not the only judge. Even if she gave Vipra Mehta a 10 out of 10 on the scoring, the other judges have to also do the same thing as well. Olivia Yase is also not responsible for there only being one queen from Africa moving forward into the top 20. She, again, is only one of many judges, so let's be mindful of that. I think overall, I think it was an okay competition. I know many of you guys want to call it a cooking show. I don't know. I think that they robbed India. I don't know if the entire show was robbed, cooking though. But I don't know. You guys let me know in your comments down below. Please do not attack me for my opinion. Please, 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 please. You guys are allowed to have a difference of opinion. Just say what you feel. You don't have to attack how I feel. Just say what you feel. As always, I'm so thankful for you all. Please give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Please go ahead and share this video to those who you feel like would be interested in it. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to join the Reyna family and become a Reyna yourself. But don't forget, if you're going to subscribe, you might as well hit the follow button on Instagram and TikTok, linked in the description box down below. As always, maraming salamat po. Terima kasih. Kampung ka, shesheni, arigatou gozaimasu, muchas gracias, shukriya, shukran, dhanyavad. And thank you guys so much, Reyna. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video, which Miss Grand All Stars is coming up soon, so there should be more content to come. Bye. Love you guys.